Thanks for coming. And make sure your mic's on. All right, is your mic working? Let's test it out real quick. Hello. Can you hear it? All right, good deal. So I came across Moses, I think 4 years ago, in a conference in California. And he was coming over to the States at that time to meet some other pastors. It was a pastors' conference and be able to raise some support. And ever since then, Ryan and Stephen have been in touch with Moses, just trying to get a bead on his work in India and how we might be able to facilitate it and help him out. And last year we're going to have him come over. It didn't work out, but this year he's finally able to come over. And my goal for this, church, is for you to see a person who is completely sold out to his mission field. And I don't know, I've heard the stats that today young people are not wanting to go to the mission field anymore. They have other more important things to do than ministry and serving the Lord. And I don't know where our teens are at here in Overflow in terms of your spiritual life and your spiritual walk. But I think one of the things you should consider doing is realizing that you can give your life as a sacrifice to tell people about Jesus Christ and to help them in need. And Moses has such a unique ministry, we're going to talk about it here in a second, that I hope it'll energize your own thinking and think about how you can help out. And if you're an adult and you like to get involved in missions trips and things like that, man, this is a great opportunity. Just stir that fire in your heart and your soul. Maybe you've not given to missions. So we support over 40 missionaries across the world, and they rely faithfully on our weekly and monthly support. And maybe you're not giving to missions right now, but you'd like to make a commitment this morning to start. That would be a great blessing to Brother Moses and the rest of our missionaries. All right, let's go ahead and get started here with having Brother Moses. Moses, would you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Tell us your name, your family, where you're from, what your kids are doing now, that sort of thing.
Thank you, brother. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see all of the brothers and sisters in today, and good to be in the God's house today. And my name is Moses Dirisena. It's very hard to spell my surname, so please call me as Brother Moses. It will be fine. So I born in a Christian family. My parents and my great-grandparents were saved by the grace of God by the Baptist missionaries who came in early 1900s and 1800s to India. So I born in a Christian family. I used to go to Baptist church from my early childhood. So I personally accepted Lord as my Savior in 1998, October, and I've been baptized. I'm married. My wife's name is Shalem, and God blessed me with 2 daughters. My eldest daughter is Monica. She is 20 now, and my youngest daughter is 18. Both are studying at the college. So that is, I called to preach the gospel in 2005. So before I came to ministry, I worked as a computer programmer in pharmaceutical company. So I felt God is calling me to preach the gospel. So I left my job. My wife also left the jobs. Both of us left the jobs and came to my hometown and searching for a proper place to start a Baptist church. So God showed me this small remote village, which is called Kamavarapu Kota. It's very hard. So call it as K Kota. It is a remote village consisting of 20 to 30,000 people. So before I went over there are some other churches belongs to other denominations. But this is the only Baptist church which I planted. So in 2006 we started and we came to full-time ministry.
So Moses, tell us a little bit about India. Wasn't there a disciple that went to India? Who was that?
So Apostle St. Thomas is the disciple who came to India. He came to southern part of India first and he started preaching the gospel. So afterwards, the first Baptist missionary is William Carey from England. He is the man who changed entire India by preaching and proclaiming the gospel. He learned 22 Indian regional languages. 22 Indian regional languages, and he translated that Bible into 22 Indian regional languages. Actually, we speak a lot of different languages, but my state, the place where I grow, we used to speak a language called Telugu. So we have our own Bible in Telugu now, which was translated from King James by William Carey. So we praise God for that man who has brought a lot of revolutionary changes to the people of India. He constructed a lot of colleges. He is the man who implemented education for girls in India. Before that one, we don't have education for girls.
Wow.
So he started the railway system in India. He started a lot of medical colleges. He has a theological colleges. He sacrificed each and everything. He never gone back to England once he came to India. So he's a great influence to India. So I praise God for William Carey for his sacrificial commitment. Because of him, we are able to read the Bible in our own regional language.
Wow. And William Carey, was that in the 1700s?
Exactly.
Yeah, so 300 years ago, and he's still having an impact.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy for him, right?
It's not easy for him because while he was in India, lot of hurdles he came across because his wife got mentally sick. He lost his son, and a lot of the Hindu extremists has struck him with a fire accident while he is translating the Bible. So all the manuscripts has been completely spoiled.
They were all burned up.
Burned up,
Wow.
and again he started again. So he started from again zero, and he did a lot of things.
It's amazing just the amount of history. You think of doubting Thomas, who didn't believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ until he saw him. And that man, Thomas, was so impacted by what he saw that he went to India and spread the gospel. And then have William Carey, just what an amazing lineage to be able to refer back to. So tell us a little bit about India. There's a couple million people in India, right? Tell us about India and how they break down religiously.
Yeah, India is, the population is 1.37 billion population, the second largest after China. So the major religions are Hinduism, where 90% of the population occupied by Hinduism. The next biggest religion is Islam. So Christianity is supposed to be calculated as 3%. But in the 3% also, Catholics and other cults are also involved. So we have a major problem of preaching the gospel to Hinduism because apart from Jesus, they worship each and everything. Let me explain like you this. If they go on the streets, if they found a big tree, they worship that one. They worship sun, they worship moon, they worship stars. I have a lot of my friends who are Hindus. I used to ask them and I used to question them, why you worship trees and why you worship the creation? We have a great creator. They say that our forefathers has adopted this religion. We don't want to come out from that one. So that is the more irrelevant answer which they used to say to the people. It's very hard to reach them. So, but by God's grace, I thank God for God placing me in the land of India, because we started the church with 10 people in 2006. Now we could win 200 people to come to the church regularly for the Sunday service.
Amen.
So out of that 150 people are Hindus.
Now those Hindus, when they're a Hindu, are they devout, or do they just claim that that's their religion?
So they claim the religion and also they devote.
Yeah.
So Monday they have 2 or 3 gods. Tuesday they worship other god. Wednesday the other god. So they have 330 million gods.
And they hit all of those, they're temples for the different gods,
Yeah,
right?
temples for different gods.
Yeah.
I used to ask, if you are supposing to worship one god, you can worship. Why you are worshipping different gods and different weeks?
Yeah.
As Monday is different from Tuesday, they say that we are worshipping different god Tuesday also. So they're very superstitious and they are all witchcrafts. They have a belief on unnecessary things which they are doing.
How do you reach a person with a background in Hindu? So first they're challenged by their tradition. They worship a tree not because they believe that tree is a god, but because it's traditionally what they're supposed to do. And they've been in this for hundreds of years. Their family has been Hindu. How do you reach somebody that's Hindu for the gospel?
Yeah, it is very hard to reach the Hindu people. Most of the Hindu people want the men to come into their home. So the best way is we used to have the church woman where they can go into the home and first of all have a friendship with their ladies, with their wives.
Right, yeah.
So afterwards, then after they coming to the church, then as a pastor we used to go there.
Wow.
And every month on Friday, each Friday, we used to evangelism on the streets, preaching the gospel, distributing the gospel tracts, and knocking the doors. Sometimes they beat us, sometimes they split on us, but we won't care, and we used to reach them.
Is there any persecution for Christians, Baptists?
Yeah, last 6 years back, we don't have much persecution in India. But the present Prime Minister, who is holding the chair right now, since 6 years, we are having a severe persecution. So the churches has been burning, the pastors has been beaten badly. The believers, when they're carrying the Bible and going to the churches, they are threatening them and afraiding them. If you are living in India, you have to supposed to worship only Hindu gods. You are not supposed to worship the other religion. They think that the Christianity is adopted from other Western countries. So they think like that, and they always give a lot of struggle for the Christianity and for the churches.
Yeah. And how does someone go from believing in everything being a God to believing in one true God? Is that a hard thing for them to conceptually get, that there's one true God?
So whenever we use it to reach Hindus, the only thing is, I never criticize the Hindu religion or Hindu gods. I used to tell them how our God is. That is the only way. So I said that in 365 days, we worship only one God, because He is the creator. So because you say that the creation is not done by Hinduism or some other gods, you are saying that. You cannot prove or anything, but we have a proof of the Holy Bible. So we have the proof of the stars, and we have the proof of all the creation. So the major proof is myself, because once upon a time I am a sinner. Now I am saved by His grace, and we are preaching the gospel. Amen. That is the way. In positive way, we have to reach the Hindus. If we criticize them and they criticize their gods and goddesses, it will always hard for us to reach them.
Yeah. Sure.
So that is the best positive way which we use it to reach them.
That's great. Well, tell us a little bit about the town that you're in. I'm pronouncing it Kekoda. We have it up here. It's in the province of Andhra Pradesh. So tell us a little bit about the town that you're in, and let's talk about your the work that you're doing in that town as well as the other town.
Yeah. Where I born, it is a city. But afterwards, when God asked me to go to some other places where there is no proper church, when I'm searching for that one, God showed me this village. It is a people consists of 20,000. So when I felt that there is no proper our church there, I prayed and I asked God I will start the church over here.
Now there's 20,000 people. What's their industry? Where do they work?
So they depend upon daily labor. So agriculture is the main thing which in the village.
So
which
there's no like franchises of McDonald's in this town?
No McDonald's.
Yeah.
If we want to go to McDonald's or KFC, we have to travel for 500 kilometers.
500 kilometers, which is like 300 miles?
300 miles like that.
Wow.
But the McDonald's and KFC in India is not like in America.
Okay.
And so it is completely different.
This is a 20,000 people. There's no major industry whatsoever. People don't necessarily earn a wage. They just they plant, grow, and try to live off of what they harvest, right?
Exactly. Because most of the people depending upon agriculture.
Yeah.
If they don't have own fields, they used to work in other fields. So the daily wage the average wage of a daily man or woman is $3 per day. So with that only they have to survive their entire family. The men use it to drink alcohol and they don't care about the family and the children. So the wife has to take the much burden and responsibility. She has to work for 8 hours. After getting 8 hours, sometimes the person who is to give them the wages will give that day, otherwise they will ask him will give after the other day or after the month.
Yeah.
So before these 30 days, she has to struggle and feed the family like that.
And so if they work 5 days a week, that's $15 a week to live off of. Yeah. And that's nearly the cost of many combo meals here in the U.S. So I want you to think about that when we're talking about that. When you go to McDonald's and you spend $7 on a combo, that $7 directly translates into 2 days of labor in India. It's pretty amazing. And when you think about purchasing power in terms of the money that Americans have and the way it's so easy to translate it into India and make a huge impact, it's a wonder that more Christians don't give to India and give to missions, because there's like we purchased coffee that's worth over a day's wage in the U.S. And so it goes to show, Christian, that is that first off, you're the top 1% richest people in the world, and that one coffee a day is the equivalent of some woman with a drunk husband at home working an entire day or 2 days just to try to survive with her family. Tell us a little bit about, tell us about the town. Keikoda, it's 20,000 people. How did it start out? We have a couple pictures here. Walk us through these pictures and let us know what we're looking at here. So this one is this the first church that you started?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We started in a rented building. We did our services for 2 years in this rented building.
Okay. And then we have, tell us what this is.
Yeah, this is the property which we purchased in 2008.
Okay.
So after starting in 2006, we purchased this small piece of property. And before the complete construction has been completed, we do the worship in this hut itself. So we did for services for 3 years around, near about in this one. We used it to gather inside that hut. It's prepared with the coconut leaves. So if a big rain or wind comes, it will wash off away. So India is a very danger of snakes as well. As it is a village, we have a lot of snakes. One Sunday morning while I'm preaching, one snake came. So today morning, one of my younger boys in the church has sent me a picture that on the church campus, we find a poisonous snake where the young people has been killed, that one. That picture is in my mobile, but I don't want to show you and not to scare you. Before, if I show you that picture, you will not come to the mission field to India. That's why I don't want.
Yeah, you have like cobras and
yeah,
snakes
we have
like
a
that,
poisonous
right?
cobras we
Yeah.
have.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have rattlesnakes in Texas. They're definitely not as cool as a king cobra.
Yeah.
So tell us about this picture.
Yeah, this is the building which we built in 2011.
Okay.
So this is the church inside. You see the top of that one, the top of that one, the decoration which we decorated for the Christmas.
Okay, yeah. And so Diwali is coming up next month, right?
Yeah.
And I
Diwali.
saw one of the pictures, you decorate the outside of the church building with lights, and everything is very festive. I like it.
Yeah. For Christmas only, we used to decorate with the lights
With
and
those.
some of the decoration items
All right.
to show the things to the people
Yeah.
and attract the people to come to the church as well.
That's great. So tell us about, this is your first building that was built in 2011. Tell us about how the Lord, it's a beautiful building. How did the Lord provide this building to you?
Yeah, when I went to the men's retreat in 2007 to other part of India, so at the time when I'm trying to catch my connecting flight, I'm sleeping in the airport. While I'm sleeping in the airport at midnight, one brother came to me and waked me up while I'm sleeping. The airport is completely empty. So I don't know why he waked me up. He waked me up and asked me, "Brother, can I sit beside you?" So he sit beside me and he's asking me a lot of questions. And I tell that my name is so and so, and this is the vision which God has given me, and this is the place where I am working over there. So he also told that he is also a pastor. He's born in America. He's from Alabama, but he went to missionary to Austria in the European country.
Yeah.
Since 30 years back. He planted a lot of churches in Europe, and his name is Pastor James Grigors. So he, after interviewing me, he said that I will come to you and see what God is doing with you. And he came after 6 months. And he saw me and how we are struggling and what the vision which God laid upon me. He spoke to his church, and his church purchased this property and built this complete building.
Wow, amen.
It's really amazing how God connects the people.
Yeah,
Because
connects you to the right
still,
people.
when we both sit together and ask, he's keep on asking me, "I don't know why I waked you up." He's keep on saying that one like that.
So tell us, so you were able then to build another building in 2013. Tell us
Yeah,
about
in
that.
2011, after building that first building, can you put that first building
Yeah.
again? So let me explain you about that building. The ground floor is the church, and the first floor is the parsonage where me and my wife is living, and the second floor is the orphanage, which God has given me a great burden to start an orphanage over there. So before this construction of that building, we don't have a proper place to eat for the children. They have a place to sleep, but they don't have a proper place to eat. So afterwards, we prayed again. Again, Pastor James and his church has graciously given the money to build the second building.
Wow. Now, what do you use the second building for?
So the ground floor is the dining hall. The first floor is the classrooms for the Christian English medium school. And the second floor is the classrooms for the English medium school.
Wow. Wow. So this pastor helped you build both of these buildings.
Exactly.
That's amazing. And they're beautiful, beautiful buildings. I think this is a picture of them both together.
And the third one is the small one, which we able to see in the picture.
Yeah.
That is the kitchen for the orphanage. So the cook used it to cook for the children in that third building.
Gotcha. And so, so how many square feet do you have between these three buildings? Do you know?
750 square yards.
Square yards?
Square feet.
Square feet?
Yeah.
So the footprint is 750 square feet?
Yes, Pastor.
Okay, gotcha. And so what kinds of ministries are you able to offer using these facilities?
So we are in soul winning and church planting, evangelizing in rural and tribal areas, orphan children home, and we are accommodating 50 boys and girls.
So you
And
have
25 boys and 25 girls.
So
The strength is itself only 50.
Gotcha. So you have an orphanage for 50 boys, or 25 boys, 25 girls.
Right.
And I think last year we raised money to take care of their food for the entire year or something like it was. I think it went to the orphanage, but it also went to getting bedding, if I'm not mistaken. And tell us about this.
Yeah, this is the dormitory of the boys and girls.
Gotcha. And so they don't have immediate family, or no one has claimed them. So they live, eat, and you preach to them, and they're growing right there on campus, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we brought the children who are left out in the streets. When I'm evangelizing on the streets, I found a lot of children. So without having any food or anything. Most of the Hindu people won't help them. The government will not take care of them.
Yeah.
With the love of Christ only we can do that one. So at that time we don't have any provisions. So by God's grace, Pastor James has graciously came forward and supporting these children. The church in Austria is supporting $1,200 per month for their monthly living.
Wow. What a blessing. And this picture, I think, is of some of the kids in the school. Is that right?
No. These are all complete orphan children in
These
our
are all
home.
orphanage.
So they are grown. They came at 3 years and 4 years like that. Now they has been grown little bit.
That's got to be exciting.
Exactly.
To see a kid on the streets and bring them in, see them saved, have nurture, growing, and see them grow up like that. That's pretty exciting.
Exactly.
Now, I'm sure that there are other kids in the area that need an orphanage. That's probably a big burden that you have.
Yes. But the dormitory size is only up to limited to 25 only because of the unlimited space which we are having. So a lot of children are still in the streets. They keep on asking us and begging us to come take into the orphanage. So because of that one, every Sunday after the church service in the afternoons, me and my wife and some of the rest of the church people collect some bread and something like that. And we used to go to the streets and give that food to the children.
Wow.
So once these children has been grown, when they have some good education, when they get some good jobs, then I can take other children.
Yeah. And we got to say, too, that these kids are growing up and they're literate. They're graduating knowing how to read and knowing how to speak, right?
So
and the majority of the country, the majority of at least your town is not literate.
Exactly, Pastor.
Wow.
Most of the children are not educated because they are on the streets, they don't have food, they don't have any education. So when they came into our home, they have a place to stay, place to eat, and place to have some clothing, and also place to have some education.
Wow.
So now they are able to know some English. They can sing some songs.
Yeah, they're learning English too.
Exactly.
Right? Wow.
They use it to sing some songs in English in the church. So that's why they have transformed.
Wow, that's exciting. It's so neat to see the Lord blessing and seeing this happen. What are your future plans for the orphanage? What is it where do you want to see it go?
So the thing is, once they got educated fully, once they graduated from the high school, when they got good jobs, they have to travel around about 1,000 miles or something like that to get some good jobs where they have IT companies and software companies like that. So afterwards, when they go off away, again I have to bring another children into the home. So my goal is not only to feed them and clothe them and give them education. I want to make them a better citizens for the Lord.
Yeah.
So I want to be a great preachers for the country So that they know they came from nothing and they have something now.
Wow.
So that is my vision, and it has a cycling process, and every day the children has to be grown in the Lord.
And that's
My
something.
vision.
And they'll look back at that and say that Christians, Baptists, were the ones who reached out to them and helped them. And they're learning English, they're educated, and they're able to go into professional fields, whereas the rest of the citizenry, not even those who are orphaned, aren't even getting that kind of opportunity. I mean, it just seems like such a great opportunity and great ministry. Talk a little bit about the school that you have, because you have an orphanage, then you have a school.
Yeah, when we have an orphanage, I used to send my children to the other schools. So sending them to other school always giving me a great burden, because schools has asked me to pay a lot of fees for the children. And also they used to treat these children very badly. They used to say that you don't have parents, you don't have good clothes, you are not looking like good, like this. They used to treat them badly. So for that reason, I prayed and asked God to have an English medium school, Christian English medium school. So we started in 2015. Now the children are not going outside. They came from the dormitory and they used to eat and go to the school in the campus itself.
That's great.
So like that, we have started this school like this. And we also welcoming other children from the community as well.
Yeah.
So because if they came, they can pay some fees for the school, where with that fees we can pay the salaries for the teachers.
Yeah, right.
So
How many kids do you have in the school in addition to the orphanage?
you are asking for outside children?
Yeah.
So we are having around about 50 children right now.
Okay, gotcha.
We can reach more people from the surrounding hamlets and surrounding villages. But we are praying to have a bus for the school. If we have a bus and we have provide the transportation, more kids can come in to join in the school.
And you wouldn't have been able to do any of this had it not been for that pastor building buildings so that you could facilitate these schools and orphanages, right?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty amazing.
Yes.
That is pretty cool. But that's not all. You also support another community that's in need. Can you tell us a little bit about the leper?
Lepers ministry.
Yeah,
So
lepers ministry.
this is also I came to know, and how I can say this through evangelism. So after we are evangelizing in the villages, going to the crooks and corners, I found this colony. So there are 47 lepers in that colony, where they don't have nothing. So they cannot live in the town or in the village. The government used to send them outside the village. They live in a separate houses and separate colony. So while I'm going over there, and they begged me and asked me to give something for them. At that time, they are looking for provisions, looking for food and looking for clothes.
Because if no one feeds them, and if they're disabled, they're not going to
No
get
one feeds
fed.
them. They used to live like that. So we started by preaching the gospel to them. So upon 47 lepers, 20 lepers have came to the Lord and saved. So
good.
whenever we have provisions, we used to go them. We are unable to do on regular basis because of the finances which are limited to us.
Yeah.
But even though I have provisions or not, I used to go to them regularly, teach them and make them to live in the Lord rightly.
So you're doing all of this in Kekoda, but you're also doing some church planning in another, in a tribal area. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah.
So this is the main home base, but then you're also looking to start churches in other areas.
Yeah, through evangelism.
Yeah.
While we were going through evangelism in 2017, I found a village. It's a tribal village. As I told, India has many languages. The tribal language is different, where I don't know. I cannot speak that one.
Wow. And how far away is that from where you're at?
It's around about 70 to 80 kilometers.
Okay. So under 100 miles away, and it's a village of people that speak a language that you don't speak.
Yeah, because their main profession is catching the rats.
Wow.
Catching the rats. They are very illiterate and they don't know how to live or like that.
Wow.
That's why we call it as a tribal village. So when I saw that one, I thought that this is the place where we have to start the church as well, because they don't know the Lord. They don't know nothing. So I started a village over there. I found one of the person over there where he can also know little bit about my regional language called Telugu. So like that we used to exchange our words. So while I'm preaching there, I used to preach in Telugu. That person used to translate in that tribal language.
Yeah.
So we started in 2017. So we also started in a small house over there. So now the church has grown to 70 people over there.
Wow.
So God is doing some great things in the tribal village as well.
That's exciting. Now, tell us about your Sunday morning. You preach in your home church, and then tell us about how you travel and all the rest of it.
Yeah, we start the service at 8 o'clock. The church starts at 8 to 10 o'clock. After finishing of the Sunday service, me and my wife and some of the young people from the church used to go to the bus station and we used to catch the bus. And we have to travel nearly one and a half hour. So after going there, we will start the service at 11:30.
Wow.
So from 11:30 to 1:30, we will finish off the services. And then we will have to catch the bus and again have to come to my home church and have the lunch at that time.
So what's your burden for that tribal village? What do you want to see happen there?
So I do at this point of time, as I said that we are doing the church service in a small house. We purchased a small piece of land because the land cost is very cheap in that tribal village. So Pastor James has purchased that land. When I showed him that we started the second church, Pastor James has purchased that land. So we want to construct a church over there. I want the more souls to be win in that village, and a church building and a parsonage has to be needed. So while we are traveling, the travel time takes much. Sometimes the buses will be there. If the buses is not, we have to hire some transportation from there.
You don't have a vehicle.
No, we don't have a vehicle. So we are praying to have a vehicle for that where we can reach more.
Yeah, and give you more flexibility.
Exactly.
And so this other church that you're planning doesn't have a pastor yet. It doesn't really have much of an infrastructure, but what you're trying to do is go in there, lead people to the Lord, and eventually get this building built where you can also have a parsonage and you can stay there in the village, maybe for days at a time, and just evangelize and witness and see people brought in.
Yes, Pastor.
Yeah.
So if I stay there, if I have a parsonage there, I can stay there. I can evangelize more souls.
Yeah, that's exciting. So what kind of building are you wanting to put there? How many people will it hold, and how much?
So
will it
around
cost?
about 100 to 150 people we can accommodate if
Gotcha.
we have that building like that.
Gotcha.
So on the top of that one, we have some little bit parsonage to build that one where we can put the pastor.
Gotcha.
Until we train somebody, we're already training some of the young people from the church. Until they're fully furnished, I have to go there. So I have to oversee everything in that.
So what is your greatest need? It seems like you have so many ministries, and when you look outside of your ministry, you have so many needs. The needs are limitless. Billions of people, no infrastructure, children with no moms and dads, people that are not able to read the Bible because they don't know how to read. It seems like the need is limitless. But what is it that is maybe the top things that you say, you American Church, Calvary Baptist Church in New Braunfels, Texas, this is how you could help me. This is my greatest need.
Yeah, as you told that the work is plenty, but the resources are very limited.
Yeah.
So if we have the resources, we can reach more souls for the Lord. The primary need is about the regular monthly sponsor for the orphanage, because every child needs $50 per month for his 3 meals a day and an evening snack. So as of now, I told you, Pastor James is supporting $1,200. And another pastor from Texas, it's a place called Burton. It's near to Houston. I met in 2015. His church is supporting $800 per month.
Wow.
So we are still running a law of $500 per month for the orphanage.
Got you. So if you had $500 more a month, you would be able to, it would complete that, and the orphanage would be taken care of. You'd be able to take care of all the food.
Yes, sir.
And the blankets and all, and I guess you're probably getting clothing for the kids as well.
So every year we used to purchase 3 pairs of clothes for the children.
Gotcha.
Depending upon you people have graciously given last year.
Yeah.
And sometimes Pastor James used to provide the clothes for the children. So we want to do more, but every year we purchase 3 pairs of clothes, and every 2 years we purchase mattresses.
Wow.
So that is the primary need which I having, and also the next need is the vehicle for the ministry. So if we have the vehicle where we can travel and we can evangelize more.
Oh, the vehicle, right.
Yes, sir.
So how much is a vehicle? I guess they're probably as expensive as they are here.
So, I don't know about here, but I came to know that it costs $30,000 US.
Yeah, pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we have some prayer needs here too. Can you talk to us about this?
Yeah, as I told you about the sponsorship for the children. If we have $500 US per month, we can feed the children, and also monthly sponsors for the 47 lepers. Also, we are very much need. And as I told you about the third building which we constructed, that is the kitchen. On the top of that floor, if we build the first floor and second floor, we can use it for the Bible college and also for the school. And also, India is a major problem of power. We don't have power. In 24 hours, we only have 8 hours or 9 hours. In the midnights, they used to take the power. Sometimes we don't have any water. We have to come outside and we have to live for the cool air because of the hot summer. So we need of a diesel generator for the power failure. And as I told you, for the vehicle for the evangelism. These are the primary needs which we are having.
So the need is great, and I'm glad that you're here, and you're going to be visiting some other churches in the area this week and letting them know more about the need. And my prayer is that you'll be able to raise funds to take care of all of this, take care of the kids. So for $50, so $500 a month times 12, so for $6,000, you'd be able to take care, you would finally have enough money to take care of all of 50 kids for an entire year. Yeah, and I think that's completely doable in the States. What would you tell a young person here, or maybe an adult, who hears your story and they see pictures and maybe they even see videos from other countries, and they just have a kind of a burden to really help take care of them? What would you tell them? How would you encourage them?
So I would like to encourage the brothers and sisters. You have seen me physically. Before seeing me physically, you have supported me. I am very gracious for that one. And I encourage you to come and see the work physically also. I encourage you to come for the missions over there. I encourage the young boys and girls to come and teach English in the school, where you can teach English to the orphans. So that is the greatest thing which you can do when you come to India.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you tell us your favorite Bible verse in your native language?
In my native language, can I speak in my native language? It's
and we believe in tongues here, so we can understand it. So it's not a problem.
My favorite Bible verse is 1 Corinthians 9, verse 19. Let me tell you in my own language. ఎక్కువ మందిని సంపాదించుకుంటకు నన్ను నేను దాసునిగా చేసుకొని ఉన్నా. That is the verse.
Yeah, it's close. Can you tell us in English what it is?
So I have to read.
You have to read it. That's right. And what is it? 1 Corinthians?
1 Corinthians 9:19. Can you read it?
First Corinthians 9:19. For though I be free from all men, yet have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more. Why does that passage mean a lot to you?
Yeah, it's. I want to do service for the people. When I read that one, Paul is one of the greatest evangelists and the greatest man of all ages. So it is the greatest influenced verse which has made me. So most of the people have sacrificed their lives. When it comes to the missionaries who sacrificed their families and everything, came to India and preached the gospel, like William Carey. He sacrificed everything. To win more people, he sacrificed everything. Wow. That's why I have made this verse as my favorite Bible verse.
Thank you, Moses, for visiting with us. Let's give him a hand, and you can have a seat down here.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you so much.
Let's have our ushers come forward at this time. He'll be at the back.